Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Meet the Candidates Night for the Village of Wayne Trustees to be elected at the April 1st consolidated election. This gathering is hosted by the League of Women Voters of the Elgin area. My name is Linda Gallion, and I'll be the moderator tonight. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan organization that works to empower voters and encourage informed participation in our democracy. One of the ways we do that is to conduct candidate events like this to provide voters an opportunity to hear the candidates running for election. The events sponsored by the League give candidates for local offices a chance to present information about themselves and their candidacy, background and skills, reasons for running for office, what they hope to accomplish if elected, and positions on various issues relevant to the office. All candidates in contested races were invited to participate. Each one was given the opportunity to fill out a candidate questionnaire, which is now on our website, with their written responses and can be found by clicking on their name on the voter guide at lwvelginarea.org. And I have a poster here on the table. The format this evening will be: the candidates will have 2 minutes to introduce themselves. They were provided with several questions as prepared by League members and will be given 3 minutes to speak for their 3 questions they've chosen. At the conclusion of their presentations, they will end with a 1-minute closing statement. Our timekeeper, who's here in the front row, will show the candidates when they have 1 minute left, 30 seconds left, and when time is up. We ask you, the audience, to please silence all cell phones and remain silent and seated during the forum. This event will be recorded. We are not live streaming this evening, so over the next few days it will be prepared for viewing on our website, lwvelginarea.org, and our YouTube channel, League of Women Voters of the Elgin area. Tonight, we are pleased to have 4 of the 7 candidates for the 3 4-year seats on the Village of Wayne Board of Trustees. Karen Kaluzsa, Emily Miller, Mike Dimitroff, and Tom Kennedy. Welcome to our candidates, and thank you for agreeing to participate tonight. Karen, we'll have you begin with your 2-minute introduction.
Thank you very much. And I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters for hosting this event. And I'd also like to thank everyone who came out tonight. My name is Karen Kaluzsa, and I've lived on Orchard Lane in Wayne for over 20 years now. I'm running for trustee since I'd like the opportunity to fill Gary Figursky's seat to continue the great work of the board, which I believe is on the right track. I'm well qualified to serve as a trustee since I have municipal board experience, having previously served as a trustee of the St. Charles Public Library District. So I have experience working collaboratively on a public board to make informed, thoughtful decisions that are in the best interests of the community. I served as secretary of the library board, which entailed verifying minutes and conducting audits. I chaired the library's policy committee, and I was the board representative on the collective bargaining team. Having recently retired, I just completed a 40-year career working as an information manager for first a major law firm in Chicago and a global consulting firm, and lastly, a large health insurance company. My primary skills include management, organization, and research. Educationally, I have a master's degree from the University of Chicago's Graduate Library School, and I've got a law degree from Loyola. Finally, I'm active in the community. I'm a member of the Wayne Countryside Garden Club, as well as the Little Home Church, both of which I've held leadership positions. I'm dedicated to protecting and preserving the quiet, rural, unique nature of Wayne and its friendly, neighborly atmosphere that makes it a great place to live. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike, Dimitroff?
All right, thank you all for coming, and thanks to the League of Women Voters. My name is Mike Dimitroff. I'm currently a trustee. I've been a trustee since 2020. I also was previously a trustee from 2014 to 2017. I've been a resident of Wayne for 27 years. During that time, I've come to love and appreciate the unique character of this village. My wife and I have proudly raised 2 sons here. We enjoy participating in the equestrian activities unique to this area. Wayne's approximately 2,300 residents are spread out over an area comprising more than 3,700 acres. This population density is a fraction of what is found in surrounding communities and is not the result of random chance. Almost 90 years ago, 2 of the area's large landowning families entered into agreements to develop their land in the western half of the village. Their vision was to ensure the properties would be used for single-family homes on parcels of 4 acres or more. Over the years, our village leaders wisely have codified these agreements and furthered the interest of protecting the open and historic character throughout the rest of Wayne. Volunteering to be a trustee for the Village of Wayne gives me the opportunity to give back to my community in a tangible way. My goal as a trustee is to preserve the traditions and sense of community which has always been part of our village. This includes maintaining the historic district and surrounding neighborhoods, protecting open spaces, and continuing to promote the equestrian heritage responsible in large part for developing this town in the 19th and 20th centuries. In addition, I will work to maintain Wayne's residential nature and protect it from the kind of commercial development that surrounding communities embrace. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Emily?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Emily Miller. And thank you to everyone for coming out this evening, namely League of Women Voters. I'm seeking re-election as a Village of Wayne trustee because I'm deeply committed to preserving and enhancing the unique character of our village. As a resident here for nearly a decade and one that is committed to raising our family here, I know how important it is to strike the right balance between progress and maintaining the rural charm. There's a unique community spirit that makes Wayne such a special place. So many people helping and asking very little in return. I believe that thoughtful, strategic leadership is essential to address both our current challenges and our future growth. It's not just about what we do, it's about how we go about doing it. The decisions we make must carefully be considered and always in the best interest of our residents. Whether it's improving our local services or protecting our open spaces or ensuring our road safety, how we engage with the community and collaborate is key to our success. My motivation comes from a deep desire to contribute to the long-term vitality of Wayne. I want to ensure that Wayne continues to be a place where individuals and families can thrive with our natural environment and where residents feel connected and heard. I always believe that the best outcomes come from working together, fostering an open dialogue, and assuming positive intent, making decisions that reflect the needs and values of our community. I'm passionate about being a voice for all of you, ensuring that Wayne remains progressive and a beautiful place for generations to come. As your trustee, I will continue to be dedicated and guide our village. I am honored and with hope and positivity hope to continue to serve you. Thank you for your trust and your support.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out. We really appreciate that. And thank you to the League of Women Voters. It's wonderful to have you do this. This really is special. Just a little background on me. I was born and raised in the city of Chicago, South Side, 6 kids in the family. I'm married to my beautiful wife for over 33 years with 3 kids. We have a grandson, and pretty soon we get a little granddaughter coming. So we're really excited about that. We moved here right after our daughter and son-in-law purchased their home, and we instantly fell in love with Wayne. For what it has and what it offers, it's so very, very special to us. the trees, everything about it. And I love the history of everything, and especially as a carpenter and a builder, I really appreciate everything that I see. The woods and whatnot, there's nothing like it. As for me, I was retired from the Chicago Fire Department, and I have over 45 years in the fire service. I serve our community with the Fox River Countryside Fire Department. As a retired fire chief from Chicago, one of my positions I held was purchasing pretty much everything from A to Z. I helped manage all the grant money projects that we did. I built 2 firehouses. I didn't actually build them, but I was instrumental in overseeing the construction of those. With that, I moved into the Chicago Heights as I got called to be the fire chief out there. So when I went there, obviously there was contract negotiations going on, very contentious, we'll say, but we resolved those issues and we moved forward. So with that, I still serve out there on the Board of Commissions as one of the commissioners for the Fire and Police Board. Let's see, what else have I done? I was a member of the Illinois Counterterrorism Task Force. I'm a co-founder of a family construction company and a builder of commercial and
Sorry.
Do what? Oh, jeez.
She goes fast.
Wow.
That's why she's in the front row. Thank you. Now we will begin the 3-minute presentation. The candidates have prepared on the questions we provided to them. We're going to start with Mike Dimitroff.
All right. Thank you. The first question I chose to answer was, how do I view the current status of the village of Wayne? Are things going well, or is there a need for improvement? I think the current status of the village is sound. We've done a good job of maintaining our quiet surroundings. We promote and protect open spaces. We discourage encroachments into our traditional way of life. We have a great community. Our community groups volunteer to help maintain public land and easements. We've set up events to help the community get together if they want to clean up in the spring. It's a wonderful event that I brought up at a meeting once, and then Emily ran with it and has set it up for the last few years. Over the last many years, we've worked to partner with the Forest Reserve District through our volunteer efforts to maintain and upgrade their land as well. It's a two-way street. They consider the desires of the villages when it comes to Forest Reserve access and uses. But there's always areas for improvement. We're working on technology upgrades to equipment. We've made improvements to our website. A lot of fixes have been made, but we're continuing to make more changes to make things easier for people to use. I've heard people say that we should look at other communities' websites as templates, and we do that. One person a while back mentioned Huntley's website as one we should emulate. Well, Huntley's Sun City Development alone has 6,000 homes, and we have maybe 800 in the whole village. And we have our tax base, our source of revenue is based on property taxes. And I know we all pay huge property tax bills in whole, but a $500,000 home in Wayne probably contributes about $600 to the village annually. With that, we have to run the police department, public works, pay our employees. So there isn't a lot of extra fluff there. Our village hall is staffed on a part-time, 4-day-per-week basis. We get a lot done with that, but while continuous improvement is always our goal, it's also nice that you can pick up the phone or stop by Village Hall and speak directly to a person who can get you the answers you need. Thank you. Oh, who's next? Okay, I didn't know, sorry.
Do I answer the same
You
question?
pick your.
Whatever
Okay.
question you pick to be first.
Okay, got it. So the question for the audience is, how do you view the status of the Village of Wayne? Is everything going well, or is there a need for improvement? What steps needed to continue the progress or improvement, and how much will it cost? So the Village of Wayne has many strengths, including its rural charm, its close-knit community, and the preservation of open spaces, especially those for the equestrian culture. However, like any community, there are areas that we can improve and ensure that Wayne remains a vibrant place for future generations. So here are 3 areas: infrastructure upgrades. Also, the second would be traffic control and continued safety. And then the third would be preserving the green spaces. So let me talk a little bit more about infrastructure upgrades. Some of our roads and some of the drainage systems require attention and proactive maintenance, primarily in areas that are prone for flooding. We need to continue investing in infrastructure improvements that will ensure that these residents have safe and reliable roads and effective water management. The cost of this, of course, can be exorbitant, but the repairs could be offset by combining with more state infrastructure grants and private and public partnerships. And that's one area that I think we could continue to look at. And then traffic control. We've had tremendous support from our police department, which I commend. And people always know Wayne as having a tremendous police department presence and effective road traffic control. We need to continue what the police department has done. The sustaining continuation of that is very important to our village. And I know that most of our residents, all of our residents, really appreciate their control and the safety of the village. And then preserving the green space. Protecting our green spaces and ensuring responsible development is critical to maintaining Wayne's unique character. We need to continue to work with land conservation groups that will help us continue to safeguard these areas and keep that minimal cost. These partnerships that we already have need to be maintained at the strongest possibility. This local green space, we also need to educate the residents of Wayne what we do have, because there's a tremendous amount of green space that is here, and we need to tout that and be proud of it. Many people don't understand how much space we do have as a village.
Thank you, Emily. Going down to you, Mr. Kennedy.
Okay, thanks. Okay. So I picked the Village of Wayne and the 3 issues that I feel that the village faces. And number 1 is the noise on Route 59. A few months ago, there was I had spoken to a friend who actually had a friend that lived over there, and I had stopped by, as obviously getting some signatures and whatnot. But what I did find is that the noise level over there is tremendous, and it's unbelievable. So what I thought though is what really stood out is Bartlett has got the sound wall there. Why not Wayne? I don't know where that's, if it's lost, if it's getting talked about. The rail noise on Army Trail and then up north on Dunham, just past Brewster, as far as eliminating the horn blowing, I spoke to a friend of mine who's actually building a railroad right now, and he directed me to the ICC to get some matching grants where there are grants available every year. They'll do 100% or they'll do a match thing. So I think that's something that we really should look at. Another thing was the Dunham Road, the semi trucks on Dunham. Can they be rerouted to Route 59 or Randall? We're all in a 2-lane village here, and those trucks they beat the roads tremendously. So that's something I think we should all look at. The other thing is, how do we view the status of the Village of Wayne? How's everything going? What improvements? Well, improvements, we can always, should and always strive to make it better. The cost of this is absolutely nothing. We need to have an open dialogue and communication in the lines to foster a climate of total inclusion, and most importantly, we have to stick with it. And that's what's really important here. The other thing is, how was our public safety? How important is it? Well, I think there's a few other things that are in this comment, but first and foremost, as a first responder, obviously our public safety is is paramount. I look at it as I think we should look at speed cameras in certain areas. There's plate readers that are out there that pick up a plate that is a stolen vehicle or if it's unregistered. I know on the south suburbs they pick them up. And obviously this actually pays for itself and it's a cost. Basically, it's financially, it's a big, there's money coming back to the village, you know. So, okay. The other thing in that is for solicitors. Why aren't we putting measures in, you know, to eliminate them? I really don't think anyone wants anyone knocking on their doors any time of day, you know. I think it's important that we do it. And the only ones that should be out there soliciting would be Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. That's the way I feel about that. That's it. Okay.
Here, I'll get it. It's almost up, thank you.
So I view the current status of the village as going fairly well, but there's always room for improvement. And my 3 areas that I identified is poor pedestrian access through town. I wish that the sidewalk didn't end at School Street, especially with all the kids coming and people walking downtown to the post office or to the church or to our new community house that's being built. I'd like to see the sidewalk extended all the way to Powis Road. And I'd also like to investigate getting sidewalks on Powis itself. There's a lot of pedestrian traffic there and people walking their dogs and they're in the street and that's a pretty busy road. I think it's fine on our side streets, but on our main streets, I'd like to investigate getting sidewalks and also crosswalks. It'd be nice if there were crosswalks across Army Trail here in the village section because now people just dash across. It'd be nice and it would also slow traffic down if there were crosswalks there. My second issue, as was mentioned, the increasing traffic. There is more development going on all around us in West Chicago and Bartlett and South Elgin and West Chicago. And both in residential and commercial construction is causing more and more traffic through town. So I think it's been a few years since we did a traffic study to look at the traffic volume and patterns. So I think that would be a first step to see if it really has increased and how it has increased. And after that, different remedies might be considered, like more stop signs on some streets to deter people cutting through town and also to slow traffic down for our residents. And Wayne doesn't control Dunham Road or Route 59, but we might investigate partnering with the counties or the state to address possible solutions to the increased truck traffic on those 2 roads, which is leading to both increased accidents as well as increased noise, as Tom mentioned. And then the last big one that we're all aware of is the inadequate internet and cell coverage in town. Government changes can take longer than we'd like, but the current board is actually working on these and a lot of great progress has been made and will continue to be made. The website is being improved, upgrading the technology, and just this week at the board meeting, Trustee Bevente mentioned that he's now speaking to both Comcast and Loomis Networks about getting more coverage in town. So work is progressing, and if I am elected to the board, I'd like to work on that problem with Trustee Bevente, who is really an expert in the area.
Thank you. We'll start with our second question that they have chosen to answer. We'll start with Emily.
Thank you. So the question is, what do you feel are the top 3 issues facing the village? So this is my response to that question. The preservation of the open spaces and the equestrian. Wayne's identity is so closely tied to these open spaces, the parks, our equestrian trails. However, the pressures of development and suburban sprawl really do threaten this, and we need to make sure that the next generations understand how near and dear and how much work was done in order to preserve those open spaces. To preserve our green spaces, we need to continue to make sure we're working with the conservation groups and really emphasize the work that has been done. traffic control and road safety. The surrounding areas, like Karen spoke about, are really continuing to grow. Many new neighborhoods are being put in that flank or bookend Wayne on the south and then on the north. And what that will result in for traffic coming through, I think we can anticipate what it would be, but we need to make sure that we're working to make sure, validate that things don't get to be too busy as it pertains to traffic. The roads are not designed to have that much traffic on it or fast-moving traffic, and we need to be cognizant of ways we can prevent more and more traffic from coming through. And then also, just from a small village perspective, the financial sustainability as well as just responsible growth from a village. We're small town, and we need to continue to be financially sustainable, and it's hard, it's a challenge, especially when balancing improvements that we might need, and we don't have a lot of other revenue sources. We don't have a lot of sales tax. We don't have a lot of ways to bring in revenue to the village, so that makes it even more challenging for the board to be fiscally responsible. That's definitely something that we have to maintain very, very closely, and it's a yeoman's work to do that. And I want the community to know that we are charged at being very good stewards of your money, and will continue to do so, knowing that there's not a lot of avenues for incremental revenue. Maintaining this is vital to our success in the future.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Emily. Mr. Kennedy?
Okay.
Okay, the question I'm going to go with is it time to bring more properties into this corporate limits? And basically, I would love to see us getting more, land. I know that there was a sale of some land, I believe it's the Penderson Landscaping on 25. There was a little over 7 acres that were sold, and I'm not sure if that's completed or not, but from what I'm told, those are the things that I'd love to see us get as far as a village, to expand what we have, and basically what it'll do is secure it. I'm all for the preservation. Like I said, I'm a builder, and even when they build homes and stuff like that, I don't like to see it, but it's okay. But I like this quite small community, and that's why it's so important. If we can preserve it, I know they're fighting right now on North Avenue, just off of 59. There's 43 acres that are going up, and they're trying to get a development in there. Well, that's going to affect us. We can't have that. And I know the lady that's she's the DuPage, I guess she's with the Forest Preserve, and she's fighting to make sure that it stays the way it is. So I hope that goes and it stays forest. So that's what my stand is. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kennedy.
So my question is, how important is it to you and to your neighbors to continue the preservation of the open space environment feeling and the historic rural quaintness that Wayne has displayed for many years, maintaining the eye-pleasing aesthetics of the community? And I would say all of those things are absolutely paramount to me and to my neighbors. It's the reason most of us live here. We're a friendly, neighborly, beautiful small town in the middle of more traditional suburbs, and it's a joy to call Wayne home for all those reasons. And as a trustee, I would do everything I can to preserve and protect Wayne's charm. And then following on to the question that Tom just answered, is it time to bring more properties into the corporate limits, square up the boundaries, and have better jurisdiction and control on the roadways and properties to protect the vision of the village for years to come? My answer to that would be no. I think we want to keep Wayne small. To preserve its character, it needs to be kept small. And we don't control Dunham Road or Route 59, and I don't think we're ever going to. So I'm not sure how we would even have better jurisdiction or control on the roadways. So that's my answer to that.
Thank you.
I'll continue along with that same question. How important is it to you and your neighbors to continue the preservation of the open space? Our open spaces and zoning structure make Wayne what it is. As I mentioned at the start, it's not by accident. A large part of our village, primarily the Kane County side, requires lots to be 4 acres or more in size. That is very rare among Chicago suburban communities, and is one of the things that sets us apart from others. Our equestrian heritage dates back to the 1860s. We can thank the Dunham family and historic Oak Lawn Farm for that. At one time, Oak Lawn Farm covered 2,000 acres. And as I think I mentioned before, right now, Wayne covers 3,700 acres. So more than 50% of Wayne was covered by the Oak Lawn Farm equestrian. When developers came to Wayne to build their subdivisions in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, those before me made sure that when they were building, that they made sure where they could, that building lots were substantial. Where possible, minimum requirements of 2 or 4 acres were established. In many cases, they required equestrian easements to be set into the plats of survey before they were approved. But it's about more than just horses. It's about being able to have a home on a piece of property that allows for space between neighbors and the sense of peace that that can provide. As for open space, we have many, many acres of parks and forest preserve that give our town much of that unique feel. Some of our residents have felt so strongly about our town and its open spaces, they've gifted significant parcels of land to the village with the stipulation that it remain open space in perpetuity. We protect that and guard that because it means everything to our village. One example of that is the 40 acres that was donated to the village at Army Trail and Honey Hill. I plan to carry on in the tradition of those before me in maintaining and expanding where possible our open spaces while still promoting the small community feel that we have here in Wayne.
For our third and last question, we'll begin with Mr. Cunanan.
Thank you.
Last one I've got is how important it is to you and to the neighbors to continue the preservation of the open space environment, feel, and historic rural quaintness that Wayne has displayed for many years, maintaining the eye-pleasing aesthetics of the community. Well, quite simply, it's a must. We have to. As a builder, I have a great appreciation for wood and how the aesthetics of it and the age and the appreciation that goes with it, and nothing should change. I'm all for the preservation of everything, and we have to keep it the way it is right now. Never change. And that's quite simply it.
Thank you, Mr. Cunanan.
Thank you. My question is, how important is public safety for you? We are all influenced by our surrounding communities with traffic, speeding, unwanted solicitors, those who just pass through. Should police cars and officers be more visible during the day? Well, public safety is very important to me, and I think we've got a terrific police force. The officers are very visible around town every day, and they're strong, and public safety is prioritized in our town. A lot of great work has been done recently by the village police department to reduce the number of traffic accidents occurring. I think we all are aware of much that they've done because it's so visible, but they've added solar-powered speed limit signs. There are dummy police cars that move around town to slow down speeders. There's more consistent signage, and there are daily patrols and increased public awareness about speeding. I know I often see police cars on my street most days, and I just think they're doing a terrific job, and I'd like to continue that.
Thank you. For Emily.
Emily?
Thank you.
Thank you. I have the same question too. How important is public safety to you? And exactly the same. It's really very, very important. And it's so wonderful to have that feeling and have that feeling answered by the police department here in Wayne. They are prevalent not only on the streets that are major streets and major thoroughfares, but the rural streets and all of the events that happen. I can't tell you how many events that I've attended in the past few years, whether they be family events or their garden club events or their just events throughout the community and the school. The police department makes themselves known and present and so approachable. And that is just such a unique characteristic that is carried through the entire police department. And we really do appreciate that. And in any way that the village can support or the community can support the police department, that'll keep continuing and aiding in the public safety is the support and the recognition for what they continue to do every single day. So the public safety here in Wayne is just incredibly well established, and we want to make sure that we keep affirming what they're doing and how they're doing it. It's tremendous, so thank you for that, police department, back in the corner there.
Thank you, Emily. To Mike, please.
Well, we're on a roll with the public safety question. Public safety is really my number one concern. If you don't feel safe in your community, being a part of it becomes meaningless. As a community, we have a long history of supporting our police department. We work hard to hire the best people we can find to be a part of it. And we also fund them with the resources that they need to be effective. There aren't many communities that have the same kind of relationship with their police as we do. Our department is staffed to the greatest extent that our resources can provide. Our officers are on patrol every day. We hired a community service officer to assist the police department with complementary tasks within the community. We have decoy cars, as mentioned previously, to deter speeders. We also have plate readers that are operated by both our police and some private neighborhoods have them. We have stationary and mobile radar displays to remind drivers of their speed. Our speed limits are as slow as we can allow to make cut-throughs as unappealing as possible. An important intangible is our community spirit. We're a small group here in Wayne. We know our neighbors and recognize things that seem out of place. When I see something that looks unusual or suspicious, I call the police non-emergency number during the day or 911 during off hours, or if I see something that is overly concerning. I know I'm not the only one. In that sense, we all work together to promote our public safety. But public safety is more than just a police issue. Since I've been heading the Public Works Committee, we've brought in a professional part-time public works director with decades of experience. We've addressed deficiencies in maintenance, equipment, and staffing. Today, we're in a better position than ever to handle our winter road conditions. During non-winter months, we have well-maintained parks and right-of-ways. The Public Works Department and the Police Department work together to provide the highest level of public safety, and I support and promote it.
Thank you very much. We will begin the 1-minute closing statements for each candidate, and we'll begin with Karen.
Thank you again to the League of Women Voters for hosting the event, and thank you all for coming. In the short time we've been together, I hope I've shown that I am well qualified to help safeguard the beautiful community in which we live and how much I would like to be a village trustee. I hope I can count on your vote on April 1st.
Thank you, Karen.
Again, thank you. Glad everybody was able to make it today with the rough morning we started with. In addition to being a longtime resident of Wayne, I mentioned I've served on the board as trustees for the last 5 years and also from 2014 to 2017. I understand how our village government works in the communities we serve. Residents on the west side of the village, primarily situated on multiple acre lots. Those on the east side are generally residing on 2 acres or less. The historic district and surrounding areas provide more of a neighborhood feel, while those living outside of this area tend to live on larger lots, which offer a greater degree of privacy. Some people come to Wayne for that privacy. Others come to Wayne because they see the benefits of living in a small community. I bring a considered approach to addressing issues for both. I will always try to consider the interests of maintaining the quiet residential nature of Wayne without being too rigid, of being open to change while considering its impact on the community as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you again, everyone, for coming tonight. I want to emphasize that my commitment to the Village of Wayne comes from a place of deep passion and care for this community. I believe not only in finding solutions, but doing so in a way that keeps our community spirit strong. I've always prided myself on being approachable and being positive. Together, we can navigate the challenges ahead and ensure that Wayne remains a wonderful place to live. It's not only what we do, but it's how we get it done. I'm excited for the future of our village, and I'm eager to continue working with all of you to preserve our unique character. Thank you for your trust and your support, and I look forward to the opportunity to serve all of you again as your village trustee.
Listen, thanks again, everyone, for coming out. Thank you to the League of Women Voters. And most importantly, what I'm here for is for you. I'm going to work my tail off to make sure that everyone is treated equally, fairly, and I'll do whatever I can. I've been a public servant for over 45 years, and I'll always be that. And it gives me great joy to do that. And I'm here for you, like I said. I'll answer the call at any time, day or night, and whatever it takes, we'll get it all done together. But that's what, I want to do, and I'm hoping that I get your support. Thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Kennedy. Thank you all for participating in this Meet the Candidates night and giving the voters a chance to hear your views. For more information on these and other candidates, check the voter guide 2025 consolidated election on our website, lwveltonarea.org. We hope that this candidate meet and greet, presented as a public service by the League of Women Voters of the Elton area, has been helpful. This concludes tonight's Meet the Candidates night. I want to thank the candidates, the League members who volunteered their time to provide this event, and the voters who took the time to be here and learn about the candidates in order to make an informed choice. We hope that each and every one of you will vote and encourage your family, friends, and neighbors to do the same. Thank you.